Hello, I'd like to talk to you today about editing a book series. Over 5 years ago, in early 2017, Pat Thompson invited me to co-edit a book series with her. Pat is a professor at the University of Nottingham and she's a scholar I have a great deal of respect for. I felt very honoured when she invited me to work with her on this book series, and it's called The Insider Guides to Success in Academia. Our vision was for half-length books covering the kind of tacit knowledge that people in academia are supposed to almost kind of learn by osmosis somehow. Probably because these are topics that don't merit a full-length book, but can be really helpful for people at different stages of their academic careers, from doctoral students onwards. We also really wanted them to be affordable. And we worked with Pat's publisher, who is Routledge, and we now have 9 titles available for purchase or for pre-order. After that's taken us nearly 5.5 years. And we've got as many again in the pipeline, so the series is really growing now. But editing a series is a much longer project even than editing a book. So if you do want to edit a book series yourself, you need to be prepared for that. And what the work involves is commissioning books. And that means having ideas for books that would be useful and don't already exist. If you have an idea, the first thing you do then is check, probably on Amazon, to see if there are already books around this topic, and if so, are they recent? Do you think they're good? Are there enough that you don't need to write another one? If you have an idea about, for example, writing a book about doing research interviews, you will quickly find that there are an awful lot of books that cover that already. There's really not a lot of point writing another one. And then once you've got an idea for a book that would be useful and doesn't exist already, or maybe there was one published 15 years ago but it's now out of print or something like that, you need to know someone who could write that book. And so networks are important, knowing people, perhaps being on social media, but also once the series is known about, what's happening now is that Pat and I are getting proposals from people we've never heard of, who are emailing us saying, I've had an idea for a book that I think would fit well in your series. And that's great, but that doesn't start happening until well into the lifetime of the series. To get the series going, you need to know people who can write books, and you need to be able to have ideas and also be open to their ideas. If you know people who write, you could say, I'm doing a series. Do you fancy writing for my series? What would you like to write? Is there something you can think of that academics need to know about, but there's very little in the literature? Books we've published in the series so far are things like publishing from your doctoral research, doing a PhD by publication. We've got one about making it as a contract researcher. These are all the sorts of subjects that are complex and people need to know about, but until we got these books out, there was really very little, if anything, in the literature on these kinds of topics. If you're going to edit a book series, you need to be super well organised, because you need to keep track of all the different authors that contact you or that you contact, and where those discussions are up to. Is somebody expressed an interest? Have they done a draft proposal? Have you given them feedback on their proposal? All those sorts of things. Is the book in production? You need to know where everything is. It does help to have a co-editor for a book series, though I'm now doing one on my own on creative research methods with Policy Press, which is really very exciting. I don't know if the website for that will be up by the time you get to see this video, but if not, it will be soon, and the URL will be down there for you to have a look. And what's really satisfying is seeing the books stack up and getting positive feedback from readers and from authors. There are some people who edit book series and don't really do the hands-on stuff with authors that Pat and I do. We're pretty supportive book editors, and we offer feedback on proposals, feedback on draft chapters, feedback on whole manuscripts in draft if people want that, and advice and support along the way. If any of our authors need anything, they know they can email us at any time, and we will respond as soon as we can and offer what help we are able to do. Not every book series editor works that way. Some people just commission the book and then sit back and let the authors and the publishers figure it out. You can do it that way if you choose. It would be up to you, but I find it more satisfying to work with contributors and to give them the support they need. I particularly enjoy working with novice book writers, people who haven't written books before, and helping them get to that point, helping people who want to write books, helping them reach that stage. And I also particularly do enjoy working with researchers from the geopolitical south when I get that opportunity, because commissioning books and book series is a position of power. And it matters to me how I use that power to give people opportunities to get on the publishing ladder, to get experience of publishing for themselves, to help their careers and to help them move forward. And that's also, if anything, I think even more satisfying than seeing the books come in and getting the positive feedback. But all in all, it's a very rewarding process, not particularly financially rewarding, I have to say. Your book series is not going to make you rich, not in money, but it can make you very rich in terms of the quality of your life and other people's lives. So if you feel so inclined, there's some useful tips, and I wish you the best of luck.